This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Right now, Ian is back to hurricane strength and heading for the Carolinas. President Biden already declaring an emergency in South Carolina. We'll have more on that. Plus, we will show you the destruction the storm left behind in Florida. Also coming up.
He had told them a couple of times they needed to leave, and they just ignored him. So he took the excavator and wiped out all their buildings.
Also this morning, an update on a property called a problem property in North Portland. Neighbors say this spot is basically a chop shop filled with drugs and illegal campers. And the owner of the property says the city hasn't done nearly enough to clean this spot up.
And it's fall, which means there are endless ways to get out and enjoy the changing leaves. Plus, October starts tomorrow, so everybody's thinking about spooky things. Coming up at the end of this half hour, we'll tell you a few fun things to do this weekend.
All right, Friday edition of the Sunrise Show, really our favorite edition of the show each week. The big story, of course, we've been covering since the start of this week, Hurricane Ian. Rod has the latest on that for us.
Yeah, so real quick, we'll have more on this coming. Of course, the Today Show following our show will have more on this. Here's the latest radar satellite loop. It is a Category 1 hurricane with sustained winds at 85 miles per hour, and the Hurricane Center thinks it will be at that same strength. Our local time, 11 o'clock this morning, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, when it starts to make the eye of the storm inland into South Carolina. So already seeing 40 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts being reported at least a handful of weather stations in South Carolina. Here at home, our rain chances sadly are gone. 31 to 107 inches is what we have in the record book so far for the month of September. Cloudy skies up top, also areas of fog, 59 degrees right now. So to the bus stop we go. Most of us will have fog or low clouds to start. It looks like it's not going to take that long to clear out of it, so we'll look for sunshine at noon, 67 degrees, and then when the kids start walking home, riding their bike home, taking the bus home, it'll be about 77 degrees with a clear blue sky. Back to you.
All right, Rod, our top story this morning again is Hurricane Ian. We're continuing to track his path, as Rod just mentioned a moment ago. Right now, it's a Category 1 hurricane. The storm expected to make landfall in South Carolina later today, and as Rod mentioned, heavy rain and coastal flooding expected there. Ahead of the projected destruction in the Carolinas, President Biden already approving an emergency declaration and federal assistance. Governor Henry McMaster declared a statewide state of emergency on Wednesday for South Carolina. All of this, of course, less than 48 hours after Ian hit the southwest coast of Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. And here's some of the look now of the destruction from Hurricane Ian in Fort Myers, Florida. As you can see, the boats there washed ashore. Some of them were wedged between buildings. We know at least 12 people are reported dead in Florida, and that number is only expected to rise as search and rescue efforts continue. If you'd like to donate to the Red Cross to help with Hurricane Ian relief efforts, you can scan the code on your screen with your phone. It'll take you to a direct link on our website. You can also head there directly by going to KGW.com. And as Rod also mentioned a moment ago, the Today Show will continue to cover Ian for us this morning. The path of destruction again headed towards the Carolinas later today. That coverage from the Today Show coming up after sunrise starting at 7 o'clock.
Now to an update on a story we brought you earlier this month. You may remember the Facebook group dedicated to finding stolen cars. Its members tracked a beloved stolen Camaro to a wooded lot in St. John's. Neighbors say that lot is basically a chop shop filled with drugs and illegal campers, and it's running day and night. As Alma McCarty found out, this is a problem the property owner, city, and police have been working on for years.
At the end of a dusty road and behind this neighborhood in St. John's, you'll find what many call a problem property.
I think it started as a camp, kind of an out of sight, out of mind thing. I didn't notice anything, didn't hear anything.
But over the last couple of years, neighbors I spoke with said that changed. They didn't want to be identified for fear of retaliation.
Lots of yelling and screaming and random shots fired and what have you, just all night long. There's cars coming in and then cars going out that don't have exhaust on them anymore because they're cutting the catalytic converters off, It's just a constant flow.
Looking to stem that flow, people living nearby turned to the police, the city, and the property owner for help. The owner cleared a camp in this location back in 2018 to the tune, they say, of $20,000. After that, activity died down, but not for long. Portland's Bureau of Development Services reports new complaints began rolling in early 2021 about trash and illegal camping on the property.
I believe that the property has been cleaned up once, but the problems have reemerged, and so it's trying to prevent these problems from happening again and again and again that has been an issue.
Ken Ray with the Bureau explains in cases like this, it's up to the owner to handle the problems and secure the property. Although the city found code violations at the site, they're not issuing fines.
If a property owner is not taking action to address the concerns that we've identified, then we can impose liens and fines and take other enforcement actions. But in this particular case, the property owner is doing as much as they can to address the problem.
Portland police told KGW officers have been collaborating with the property owner and are working to address the criminal issues like trespassing and stolen cars. The owner told us within the last month, they added $8,000 worth of new barriers to prevent cars coming in and out.
He had told them a couple of times they needed to leave, and they just ignored him. So he took the excavator and wiped out all their buildings.
A friend of the owner showed us around the property Thursday. We saw a junkyard still full of stripped vehicles and other rubble, but with one noticeable difference: no people.
And they haven't probably been here now for I don't know, 5-6 days, something like that.
Even though the site is empty now, neighbors fear it's only a matter of time before the trouble returns, with no way to stop it.
The city that works? No, they didn't do anything.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
All right, let's take a look at some of our other headlines this morning. Vancouver police are searching for a purse snatcher who they say attacked a woman Wednesday morning in the Vancouver Mall parking lot. You can actually see the woman in this security video as a man in a black hoodie creeps up from behind, grabs her bag. She does try to fight him off. Eventually, though, during that struggle, it looks like he knocks her to the ground. Witnesses say the suspect ran into a car with two other men. They describe it as a maroon-colored sedan similar to a Kia Optima. You can see again on that video, she just gets knocked to the ground there. Anyone with information is asked to call Vancouver police. And we're going to stay in Vancouver for this next headline because someone fired a gun at this McDonald's drive-thru on Northeast Andresen Road. Pictures show the bullet went straight through that drive-thru window. Vancouver police say this happened at about 2:20 in the morning yesterday. A man driving a white-colored sedan tried to order food, but when the workers told him that the restaurant was closed, he pulled out his gun and fired a shot. No one was hurt, thankfully. If you have any information about this incident, you're asked to call Vancouver police. And last headline here, Oregon schools are getting over $3 million in funding for safety purposes. That means schools will get help funding crisis intervention, preventing bullying, and supporting student mental health. It'll also allow districts to hire more school safety and prevention specialists. The money is coming from the governor's emergency education relief funds.
Okay, this is kind of fun. We are live in North Portland right now at Memorial Coliseum, previewing the Underhill PDX season of Screams. It's kind of dark there.
I hear no screaming.
Jump out and scare me. So this is happening every weekend in October. You know, maybe the dark is
season
just
of
the
silence.
Scary part. Our crew is out there this morning, and this is inside the haunted house. Well, that explains why it's quiet and creepy. Ooh, yeah. Reporter Devin Haskins.
That's actually Devin, believe it or not, I think.
Yeah, look at him there. He is like hanging out. He looks like, I recognize him right now, but he's going to get a scary makeover today.
Oh, he has a friend.
Yeah. Ooh, what do you think about that? That just gives me the creeps. I do love a good haunted house. That one is at the Memorial Coliseum. We're going to be checking in with Devin and company.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit later.
It's a crowded house, Rod Hill.
It started off slow and dark, but it's getting better and better.
And now we're going to leave the shop, but we will check back in with Devin here shortly. Rod, first, though, with the forecast.
So today's the final day of September, right?
Yes, it is.
The 7-day, with the exception of today, is all 80s.
That's
which is
unreal. For
so,
October?
For October. So we've hit 80 17 times this month, and we couldn't do it today. I'm forecasting 78. If we do it today, to be 18, which would tie for the most we've ever done that. Chris McGinnis has been running these averages, and I think he told me yesterday it's a slam dunk that this is going to go in the books as the warmest September we've ever had. It was the warmest August we'd ever had. So this stretch of
warm, dry weather.
That cannot be good.
Well, at some
Into
point, it's got to
October?
change. And you would think at some point when it changes, it's going to change in a hurry. And we're going to get some big-time rain. We'll see. 31, let's get you to the weather maps. 31 100ths of an inch is what the rain total, thanks to the last 2 days, is going to be for the month. Now, we have had Septembers of only a trace a month, at least one. I think that was 1993. But very dry and very warm. We have a little bit of dab of rain that's getting that way. That's that system that brought us the couple days of at least some rain in the area. Now we're back to completely dry on the 7-day. So we're watching right now, not in Portland, but fog in McMinnville, Yamhill County down into Salem. Eugene has fog, and we're looking for the possibility of fog up here in the North Valley in the coming couple of hours as well. Otherwise, it will go on to be a sunny day with generally just light northwest breezes. 51 in Salem right now, but it's 59 out of PDX, 56 up in Kelso. Astoria is at 60, 48 degrees over at John Day. Weather numbers for today, upper 70s. So normal is now low 70s. So even this is technically way above normal, and we're going to be in the 80s, as I mentioned, over the weekend. Here come the numbers for Southwest Washington. Longview 76, Vancouver 78 degrees, northwest winds. We get the sun after whatever morning fog and low cloudiness that we end up with across the region. Here's that 7-day. And honestly, this is getting to be kind of in the shocking department. 85 tomorrow, 86 on Sunday. Records are upper 80s, so still around 90 this time of the year. And we could even be warmer than what some of these numbers show. I'm a shocked Rod Hill, signing off. Back to you.
Very much, Rod. Investigators in Clark County used DNA technology to solve a 20-year-old cold case. So back in 2002, investigators in Ridgefield found a man they thought died by suicide. Now the medical examiner has identified him with the help of forensic genealogy. Experts traced his DNA back to a couple of Oregon sisters from the 1800s. Then came the very long process of going through the family tree. That search led to James Orrin Johnson Sr. Results were confirmed after one of Johnson's sons uploaded his own test to a database that investigators could access. We spoke with Johnson's brother, who tells us he's very grateful.
And at least this way, I get some closure on it. I get to go forward with this, and I can't imagine what the rest of my life would be like if I had never known what happened to my kid brother.
There are a couple of DNA testing and genealogy companies that allow you to opt in to law enforcement database searches. They are GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA.
All right, time for a break here on the Sunrise Show, but when we return, we're talking about the Portland Marathon, celebrating 50 years this Sunday. And the marathon is actually celebrating the occasion in a pretty special way. We'll have the details coming up in just a moment.